Hi, good morning, Ravish.
Hi, Ankita, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking.
That's good to know. And I'm thinking of a very long time. So, how has it been so far?
Week has been okay. Nothing new as such. But I came to know that you're taking sessions only in the morning.
Yes,
So I tried today, and then fortunately I got the session booked for you.
I'm glad that you took this air session in the morning and thank you for rising up early. So, are you an early riser?
Look, I don't know if you know, I work in night shift,
Oh, yes,
and then
yes.
my day starts. Yeah, my day starts by 12 o'clock in the morning,
Okay,
or probably in the afternoon. So I wake up
yes.
normally at 12 o'clock. So yeah, since I had my session with you, so I haven't slept after my job or probably shift. So
My
I waited till
apologies for
now.
that.
No, that's fine. That's okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm
Uh,
sure you must be sleepy by now because you have to join by back by 12, as you said, right?
that's right.
Okay.
Uh, Okay, Ankita, I think I had a couple of sessions with you earlier, right?
Yes, we did.
And I never checked like about your profession. Like I know that you've been taking classes on Clapingo for sure. The other day, I was referring to one of your videos where you were explaining that you were into, uh, I think you were a cabin crew, I believe. Yeah,
Yes.
profession. You talked about a lot, I think, on that video. I thought, when I'll get in touch with you, when I'll communicate with you in the other session,
Right.
probably I'll ask a couple of questions related to that.
Definitely.
So what I understand is, as a cabin crew, you provide excellent customer care to passengers while ensuring their safety, and then comfort while you are on flight,
Right.
and then you carry out instructions given by pilots, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how has been your journey so far, or are you doing the same? I don't know. So I thought to check with you if you don't mind telling me.
Sure, Abish, definitely. I would love to share that. And thank you for asking this question because this is something which is also very special. Your experiences, what you have throughout the journey, it's something it's good to share. So, yes, I started my journey when I was 17 as a cabin crew. And I started quite early. And I have a beautiful experience, I would say that, with the flying. As in, I started with Kingfisher Airlines. And that
Okay,
was the most popular airline at that time. And of
right.
course, unfortunately, it had to shut down. And I had moved at a very good time to Singapore Airlines. Before the Kingfisher days were ending and everything. So I had an opportunity which was in Singapore and I moved to Singapore. So I was based out in Singapore and I was
Hmm.
flying with Singapore Airlines. So yes, as you said, the safety and the service and everything, it was all engraved into us. We had a long 3 months, 4 months training with every airline I joined, and
Okay,
it is a vigorous training. They put you in the safety situations. They put you in the situation where the aircraft is crashing. They put you in a situation, and it's all simulator. It's all real situation with what you face. They put you in the water. They crash the aircraft in the
oh
water,
my God.
and then you have to open the door. You have to do your commands. You have to take care of the passengers because there are passengers sitting as well who are actually your trainers. So the trainers are checking on you, they are auditing you, they are doing a lot of things at that time, and then you have to jump into the water, do the drills, and save the passengers, taking everything, all keeping all the safety measures in mind. So these trainings are never spoken about, especially when we speak about cabin crew. It's always spoken that they're smiling in the air and serving the passengers,
Exactly.
but yes, there's a lot going on behind. And there is a training especially on first aid, and where the passengers actually, and I have also come across, like, in real life, passengers having heart attack or on board, or they are having stroke. So you have to be trained. We were trained for delivery on board. So if there's a passenger who's pregnant or anything, like, we were all trained throughout for everything. So if you go to see that, my journey there has taught me a lot, not only customer care or giving the best service to them. It's about everything what you get top at that, at that level, at that altitude, sorry. And that's what made me understand my strengths. And when I was, because of course you're meeting people every day, you're meeting and greeting everybody, and you're talking with people whenever you are free. And that made me realize that I'm actually people's person, and you understand your strengths throughout the years. And I was
Exactly.
quite good with kids as well. So I started into, after leaving my that job, I moved back to India and I did my education. That's in bachelor's in education for my teaching. And I got into schools and I started teaching kids first. That's how my journey started after cabin crew. And I was
Okay.
working as a teacher, and then I realized that my training skills are also very, I started building up my training skills. I was doing my image consulting along with my teaching. So image consulting was happening on weekends. I got my certification done, and after that, I left my school. Now I'm just cutting it short so that I don't take the whole session on this.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, and after that, I got into training and development, completely into that. I'm a soft skill trainer now and an image consultant. So professionally, I do that, along with Clapingo. So here, I get to
Awesome.
see a lot of people, and at the same time, I'm meeting corporates and colleges for my soft skills and image consulting. So
Thank
that's
you very much for answering this question. Yeah, absolutely. Because I thought, I thought like what I mean is that you're a full-time tutor in Clapping. When I realized that okay, you take sessions only in the morning, then I thought maybe you might not be the person who is confined towards taking classes on Clapping. You must be doing something else.
right.
But that's brilliant. I think I can correlate when you were as a flight attendant or probably the cabin crew.
Mhm.
You were into relationship building, right? You had to interact with a lot of people there, and then now that you are into the training and development and
Mhm.
also on Clappingo, you are meeting a number of new faces every day, right? And
Right.
experiencing, sharing your experience and talking to them as a soft skill trainer. So
Mhm.
I think both are somehow, I mean, you must have imbibed a lot of, I would say, characteristics or probably your training from there, and then now you're using it on your professional life. Yeah,
Right. So it's actually
yeah,
called the nectar of everything. So I've just taken out the nectar of all my experiences and I'm putting it as much as I can in all the fields I can. So that's what I'm trying to do my best, and I hope this goes on. So yes,
yeah, absolutely.
yes.
Wish you good luck for that.
Thank you so much, and thanks for asking me that question, which takes you back to your journey.
Yeah.
Yes. So what was your first job?
I have been into recruitment, since I started my career. I
Okay.
was into domestic staffing and then I moved to US staffing. And I think for past 12, 13 years now, I have been into US staffing itself.
Okay.
So yeah, purely hiring people, IT people from US. That's
Right.
what I do.
So, what's
Yeah.
the major thing you see in a person who's coming for the interview? Like, what's one thing which you see, and which makes the person actually capable of getting into job? So, one trait or something if you can share, and also tell me the things which challenges you face. Even the person is well educated, but there are certain criteria which they don't match. So, what are those things?
Look, the first and foremost thing is that we have candidates' resume right in front of us, right? And
Hmm.
then we match the skill. Based on that, we take interview. Based on these skills, we ask a number of questions. If that is mentioned in the resume, what project did you work on? What technology that you worked on, and what skills did you work on, right? And then apart from that, we also check their communication because when you're working for any of the organization in US, your communication matters a lot because talk about all big giants, the clients that they are situated in US. I mean, definitely they hire people who've got very good communication skill, apart from the other skills as well.
Right.
So whether the candidate is interactive or not, how the candidate is able to explain their skills,
Hmm.
right? So these are the basic questions, which we check initially about the education. If you've done your education, what sort of education that you've done? Do you have any certification? Do you have any degree apart from your normal bachelor's and masters,
Right.
right? And so many other things. It takes like once you start communicating with your candidates, it goes for hours sometimes, right? You,
Mhm.
you go out of the box and ask a number of different questions, that
Right.
might encounter during the call, and you
Right.
check how comfortable the candidate could be in that
Mhm.
environment where you're sending your candidates, right, for the job. So yeah, this kind of questions which we come across every day. Yeah,
Right.
since I have now moved into operations at this point in time. Earlier, I was hiring people, I was directly communicating with people, but now
Right.
I am more on, into communicating with clients, instead of talking to candidates particularly.
Mhm. Okay,
Yeah.
that's great. Thank you for sharing that. And how important is resume for you? So, I get a lot of questions in my professional work. So, resume writing is something which is very important. So, as in, you have been in that department and you've been taking care of the resumes. I'm sure there are multiple resumes you come across. So, how important is resume writing?
Resume writing is very important, like you have to mention each and every details of yours, and you cannot fake at all. Whatever that you've experienced or worked, you must write in your resume, right? And that too in a significant way. Like, say for example, the most recent project should be, on the uppermost side of your resume, right, in the top front of your resume, right? And then you must mention your education, as I mentioned. You
Yes.
must encode like certifications if you've done that, right?
Correct.
And always make sure you never ever fake your resume. That's going to be a trouble for you, because the managers are intelligent, smart enough to catch you like anything.
Right.
And yeah, and I encounter a lot of resumes where people fake, because in US, how Indian market works, right? And everybody
Yes.
wants to go to move to US for higher studies or higher, say, for jobs, right? So they fake a lot of things, even if they never worked on those projects, back in probably India, or back in, or probably in US, a different part of the world, right? And but even
Mhm.
even they never did that, they do not hesitate to mention it.
Yes.
And you would probably see a lot of examples wherein I mean, say for example, you are a candidate, right? And somebody else will be interviewing in your place. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's kind of something which, I mean, you are lip syncing, on behalf of somebody else.
True.
And a lot of times managers, they catch like anything. They'll and I mean, if that happens, trust me, your career will, I mean, not particularly you, but I mean, somebody's career will,
I understood.
go for a toss, and you'll have tough time ahead if somebody gets blacklisted from the
True.
companies. So they'll have tough
Is
time
it, is
entering
it
to you.
still happening, Ravish? The dummy interviews are still happening?
That's happening. That's happening.
Oh,
Absolutely.
because
Yeah.
I heard it like many years back, it was happening, but now the scenarios are different, and they check the ID, the proof, and everything is checked beforehand. So I was surprised to know that it's still happening.
That's still happening. And even if, I'll ask you to produce the documents, I don't know from where they get, they'll share all their documents, right? And it'll
Okay.
be hard for you to gaze and find out that whether the candidate is a genuine or a fake candidate. Sometimes it happens. If you deep dive into it, if you ask a number of open-ended questions, right,
Yes.
where they're caught. And once they are caught, you wouldn't believe, they'll I mean, they'll disappear like anything. They'll disconnect your call and they'll go away. They will never, accept any further calls from you. So
Yes.
that's what
Right.
happened. Yeah, that's what is happening in this industry. And a
Right.
lot of fake candidates, they always wanted to fly to US or different part of the world for their jobs.
For the job.
But yeah,
Yes, and it's important. It's important that you don't do that. I mean, it takes a lot of guts as well to do that when you're sitting for somebody as a proxy, and to facing that, and you know that you will be caught in the end of the day. If yes, sometimes people are fortunate enough, they cross the interview and they definitely move abroad as well. And
right.
yeah, these are the experiences which you face as in a recruitment department, right?
Absolutely.
Yes,
Yes.
great, great. So it was great knowing about that. And would you like to ask any other question? I was actually seeing the notes as well. It was talking about YouTube. So, how has your journey been on YouTube? Because
Oh,
I
yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. Let's talk about that because I did not. I never thought like the conversation will go on to a level where we'll have to be will be left with a very small very less time to talk about on the today's topic, right?
Right.
So yeah, YouTube has been a great tool, I would say, for most of the learners or for probably everybody,
Right.
right? So whatever that is there, I mean, like if you want to learn anything, YouTube is the one that can teach you a lot of things, right?
True.
And that's again a free of cost. You don't have to pay anything for that.
Right.
And yeah, so I certainly follow some of the great speakers. I mostly refer YouTube. I watch YouTube. That is because of watching English content most of the times
Right. Right.
on YouTube. I follow Jay Shetty, like he's a very good podcaster. I'm sure
Even I follow
you
him.
must be
Yes.
knowing about him. And my other person, who I follow closely is Karan Thapar. He's a very good journalist, right? Is
Right.
right now associated with The Wire again. So he speaks so well, and then there are n number of great speakers from
Great.
US. I mean, I follow them religiously, and I try to learn a lot of things from them. How
Yes.
about you? What do you? Yeah, how when it comes to YouTube, what would you like to
Yes.
refer to, or why do you watch YouTube channels?
So yes, as you said that I consume this the things which is available easily. As YouTube is very easily, you can learn a lot of things. And so my majorly I go to Beer Biceps. I really find that person amazing, the way he's taking interviews, and that really makes. Of course, you learn a lot because he's taking with all the great leaders. I would say that he's taking interviews with that. So I follow him religiously, and there is many more Sudha Murthy's videos. I keep seeing that whenever I come across, or Jay Shetty, as you said. And there are many other leaders which I follow, and I also follow finance and investments or whatever I can. What, it's random. I don't follow one channel for that. So I love learning about finance and investments and all those things. So that's something which I go to. And sports is something which I really enjoy. So I follow sports as well, so how much ever I can. What because we don't find that much time to watch a long, lengthy video. So
Right.
yes, I see the synopsis of it as much as I
So,
can.
banking and investment, certainly this is one of the topics where I'd really like to talk on. And certainly, since we're running out of time, probably touching
Yes,
that
we are. Yeah,
that
running
portion
out
will be
of
hard. Yeah.
time. Yes,
Yeah. Certainly, once we'll meet another session, we'll definitely talk about all these investments. And I would
definitely.
certainly like to know more about it since your area of interest is more towards
Yes.
inclined towards investments and
I am developing that skill to get into it. I was on.